The vaccine news, as you note, remarkable in the span of a few days. Two, not one, but two vaccines showing remarkable efficacy here. Just for you to speak, chance to speak to the American public right now, some of whom have questions about a vaccine, based on the data you've seen, would you yourself take one of these vaccines and recommend it to members of your own family?
You know, the answer, Jim, is yes. I mean, I will ultimately take a good look at the data, as will actually the rest of the country be able to hear from people like me. So what they need to understand, Jim, is that the process is transparent and independent. You have to trust me on that. The Independent Data and Safety Monitoring Board looked at that data and judged that this was an effective vaccine to the point of 95 events, 5 in the vaccine, 90 in the placebo, 11 severe events, 0 in the vaccine, 11 in the placebo, for a 94.5% efficacy. Those data are going to be scrutinized by career scientists at the FDA. Those data are going to be presented to an advisory committee that are going to look at it, and an independent advisory committee. And people like myself and fellow scientists will have access to the data. When they say it's safe and effective to give, I can tell you, Jim, I will take a vaccine, and I will recommend to my family to also take it.
I always ask you when you get the opportunity to speak, the best news, the best sign of hope you can offer to folks here who are now probably battening down the hatches, right, for a difficult winter. What are the best words of hope you can offer them right now?
Well, the best words of hope are two things. One, a public health, and one, a scientific issue. The public health issue is that the kind of interventions that I just mentioned work, Jim. You've got to understand they do work. We know that as a scientific fact, and therefore implement them. You don't have to shut down any businesses to do that. You can still have the economy going along in a slow way, in a prudent way, staying open. Do that from a public health standpoint. Secondly, from a public health standpoint, do a risk-benefit discussion with your family about what you're going to want to do with the holidays. In other words, you might say, you know, I have vulnerable people in the family. I have elderly people. I have people with underlying conditions. Do I want to get 10, 15, 20 people flying in from different parts of the country? Yeah. That's a wonderful, beautiful tradition that we have, Jim. But maybe the time now is to take an assessment of that risk-benefit ratio and maybe modify what you're going to do from now. And the scientific thing is that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Help is on the way. So a vaccine should not have you then make a decision, well, we're going to have a vaccine so we don't have to do anything else. No, the fact that we have a vaccine coming means we should double down and hang in there, because help is on the way, which would motivate us to do even better with public health measures.